It's officially vacation day.
Yes.
12:03.
Into the cold.
It's 3:19 in the morning.
Dulles, DC, and we're about to watch the sunrise over Charlotte.
Yes, Washington.
I'm freezing.
We have officially made it to our island, boys. Look at that water, look at that sand. Watch out, watch.
Boom! I want that sword. It's really cute.
This is a barbecue skewer. It's a bamboo skewer. I saw that in the supermarket and I thought instantly, I can put bees on that. So I build all my own stuff and I tell people I have 2,000 hives, but they're all only this big. They're really tiny. It's a whole different kind of operation. All right, and the bees just do the cutest things in these. Mike, this one's for you.
Something like that, but
Suit and a tie? Yeah. I got the queen in my hand. I didn't grab her by the wings, you know, because that makes her panic. She can curl, you can injure her pretty easily. I just let her crawl into my hand. And so, like I said, we're gonna play some, you know, I call this game catch and release. I'm gonna pass this queen around and we're gonna see how far she gets. So everyone's got their like queen finding eyes. Queen finding eyes, yeah, like in the hive on the comb, but this is gonna be a queen midair. We'll see how far.
Oh, here she goes. There she goes.
You see her?
Yep. Oh, she's staying close. Right back to your hand. That's crazy.
What? That's my Jedi moment of the day.
No way.
Practicing this for weeks. Catch and release game.
hold on to your queen.
Don't take ourselves so seriously, I think. And don't panic.
Yes.
A lot of bees.
Oh my
What?
This,
Oops. This is an oops.
this is an oops. Just to get them started. And so now we are all going to take part in an ancient ritual. You know, before inspectable hives, before like the 1850s or so, people kept skeps, the straw baskets. Like, you know, a skep like this. You know, this is my like living chalkboard. Straw basket's called a skep, or a hollow log called a gum, and that. And people would like do active beekeeping, but they, rather than pulling out frames, they would actually drum bees out. They would take a skep, flip it upside down, put an empty skep on top of it, and start drumming. There's a couple things that make bees run. Smoke makes them run. Vibrations make them run. CO2, if you blow on the bees. Don't try that at home. Also makes them run. And light also makes the young bees run away from the light, and the queen will run away from the light. So, honoring our beekeeping ancestors, Dr. Lee is now going to demonstrate the ancient tradition of drumming bees. Just like that. And it takes actually just about 3 minutes of this vibration for that queen to come up. And you see him starting to go?
And we're looking for that queen.
Yeah, they are. Why aren't they stinging you right now? Because there's honeybees.
Get the front of the box.
All right, who else wants to get in here?
Little Metallica, let's go.
I called Dr. Lee. I was like, "You're coming to my class, man. I need you." I didn't tell him what he was going to be doing.
Haven't seen her lately.
I like to contribute just a little bit.
There's Blondie. Oof, oof.
Responsibility. That's like, oh, she's one I raised. You know.
Oh, trust me,
I
it's
have
probably your
like,
stock.
No way. Good bees. For sure.
Of course, you can say that all the way to Canada. It's probably your stock.
Everybody want, I'm going to put her in the cage. Just keep her from taking off. Beekeeper's best friend. Okay, so who can say, tell me why I'm doing this and what's going to happen in 3 weeks' time?
They're all going to hatch out. There'll be no more larvae.
Exactly. So there's a bunch of brood larvae in here. She was laying eggs in here just a second ago before we really messed up her day. So 3 weeks from now, it takes an egg from emerging adult bee. So in 3 weeks, this top box should be completely broodless. All guys just going to be honey and nectar and some pollen. So in 3 weeks, I'll pop off this box and I'll make a honey harvest, like so. That's the theory, anyway.
I brought my whole suit.
Oh, it's a perfectly legal, inspectable hive. Here are your boy bees.
I put that on my website. I have a boy bee.
Drones? You all know what drones are good for, right?
Yeah, very yummy.
Protein.
You always want to get them at age. Usually they fly straight out, the kids scream.
That's awesome. I do that too.
And this was actually a removal I did like several years ago out of this cone when it was right side up.
Smart.
And yeah, of course, I put the bees back in. Chaos. Yeah, but again, like really no side attachments, no tools. 8 inches deep is like how I'm doing boxes. I've tried everything.
There she is.
Hey,
I'm sorry. No, you're good.
I was distracted by the...
you all want employment?
Yeah, we can get you a job.
We often have to find like 200 in a day, you know.
Spotting them is one thing.
Yeah,
Catching them is the next. That's right.
2 days in the field.
Golden.
Not up here.
Sweet. Yeah, this was a nice little nook. If I leave them in here too long, they're going to have really long home.
It's a lovely pattern.
Yeah, nice little cone bees. They love the cone. Yeah.
What do you treat them with?
Kindness.
Love and kindness. That's right.
Kindness,
Love.
man.
Today about queen selection, and then we're going to do grafting demo.
So I'm actually mostly focusing on the edges of the brood nest because the center of the brood nest is going to be mostly capped brood. Toward the edges is going to be more of the open brood.
Graft from this comb right here because it's young larva, but if we're selecting, this is where I'd want to look for my young larva from, okay? We're going to switch gears and we're going to do a grafting demo, and I'm just going to pick what I have here that's going to be ideal for grafting, but we're talking first about selection.
This frame is a great example of a graftable larva frame. You've got good age larva with well-fed larvae as well. So that combination is important. You want to make sure that you're grabbing the right age larva and that it's well-fed, so it's swimming in jelly. When you go to grab that larva, that jelly is going to come along with your larva, and it's being dropped right into your cell.
What are those white things?
Yeah, there you go.
This will help.
Oh, yeah. Can you grab the...
PDF. Usually we'll have like 2 people doing this so we can get one person brushing and one person wrapping. And then we will take that over to the grafting station. So just to go through one more time, this is your grafting frame. These are your grafting bars. These are your queen cups. We're going to graft the larva right into those. They make them in all different configurations. You can make your own out of wax if you wanted to, but you'd have to have really clean wax that you knew the origin story of. Headlamp, that's important because it makes it easier to see. You've got grafting tools. Some people like to have some kind of magnifying glass or those like reader glasses that magnify off of your eyes. Even the lab glasses, the like goggles that really magnify, those make me dizzy, but if they work for you, that's great. The brush for brushing bees off of your frames you're going to graft larvae from, the towels, and then when we're grafting, we also like to have paper towels, which we use instead of these towels because we don't want any bacterial buildup on these, and they're just going to get moistened again by your water.
Lower your expectations of success because you will easily get frustrated. There are so many points of loss that can happen, and it is difficult to know where that loss occurred and why, and that only takes time. So just be gentle with yourself when you jump into this the first few times, and lower your expectations.
And this is one half of what's going on, right? You're grafting, but then you have to put these in a cell raiser, and you have to be able to make that cell raiser, and the cell raiser has to accept your cells and like your graft and feed that graft. And so you could do a perfect graft, but then have a rogue queen in your cell raiser or an open larva, and they favor their own larva over yours, and then you have to start all the way at the beginning. You're going to have attrition or loss. So always graft more than you think you need, make more cell raisers than you think you need.
And 66% of those is
going to be
potential
ultimately at the very end.
So
it's
you're
going to be
really
successful.
making more here than you would be on
Absolutely.
a walkaway.
The other thing is
Because
when you're grafting, once you've come out of the cell raiser at 10 days, you want more than you think you'll need, because then you can select the best ones. The ones that are big, that have a lot of royal jelly at the bottom of the cell cup and look like they're really going to thrive at that 10-day mark, you select those. The ones that are like kind of dinky or like growing sideways or they're not as well fed, you can actually cull those and you'll have a better a better success rate theoretically. So always making more than you think you need allows you to also make that selection process down and evaluate what you think is your best work, essentially. That's too big too, okay? So all the ones that are coming around now are too big. We're gonna get like real granular here.
Yeah, exactly. This is a snap. You graft what you can't see.
4-day-old because you could see it.
Right.
Yep, nope.
What we'll do is they shave down the actual plastic component of the grafting tool. That makes it a little bit like flimsier, which for them, I've never done it, but for them, it has a little bit more flexibility. So when you go to scoop, it's a little bit more forgiving. Whereas right now it's a little stiff. Are you trying to do this? What's your commitment to it?
You know, it's also about, it's not just about how good your eyesight is, but actually how good your eyes are at converging in a space. And so you could have 20/20 vision and be doing this and find it hard to get that convergence. And those magnifying glasses will give you a stronger convergence towards the center. So if you have good eyesight, but this is still hard, it's not you, it's that your eyes are, they need a little bit more support with that converging.
So I went to the back side of that C, so it's a very slight C, very slight curve, the back side of it. I come in at that back angle and I just scoop it right up. I'm not in there for too long, I'm not moving around too much. What I like to do is bring my tool down to the bottom of the cup and I get a little bit of an angle on the graftable or the plastic, and I just press down lightly and pull back as I'm pressing down. I just want it to just slide right off, and you're gonna use the contour of the cup to assist you in that process. So as I'm pulling back up, I'm moving up the contour of that curve of that cup.
You're letting the larva stick to the bottom.
And the larva is just staying right where it is. Our cell raisers are queenless, so they're being told. Yeah, they're being told that they got to go nuts on those. So that's what they're gonna do.
What I learned today from Dr. Priya Basu is that a honeybee's nutrition is its first line of defense, and so a good nutrition equals a good defense. We also know is that we don't know enough about honeybee nutrition, and so more money needs to be directed towards funding really important research, just like what she is doing out of Mississippi State University.
I learned from Randy Oliver today that you don't have to kill a single mite to control your varroa. All you have to do is learn how to cut their rate of reproduction in half. He showed us a lot of really cool and interesting ways to be able to do that. So I'm excited to take that and put it into our beekeeping setup at home.
What I learned today is from Sam Comfort, and that's don't take yourself too seriously in beekeeping. It's so easy to assume, and you always need to approach with a fresh perspective, because as soon as you assume something, it's going to be turned completely on its head. So don't take yourself too seriously, and always adapt, and always be prepared for change.